when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes.
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
You die, I die.
You got life! Cowcut. Synthetic cowcut.
He's flying.
Scooby-Doo.
Are you watching closely?
What?
Doo-doo?
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo. Alright, I don't know if anyone's actually in here because there's no chat going on right now, but that's okay. Sorry, live chat is currently unavailable. Interesting. Alright, well, we shall see if anyone joins us. But for right now, we are here to talk about Good Will Hunting. And I'm realizing my camera is extremely blown out. I realized that last week talking with Brad that I looked like a ghost. That's fine because he's an audio guy and not. Oh wait, I didn't like that one. He's an audio guy, not a video guy. So
Okay.
maybe I won't do this. Maybe I won't bother now. But I can't. I don't have any other time. Anyways, it's fine. I'll just be a ghost. All right, Joshua.
Seth.
Hi.
Hi.
We both kind of pivoted yesterday when I realized that Zach is not my servant and that he does not make his schedule around the podcast, which is fine. I get that. But
So he went to his real servant.
So on Saturday afternoon, I was like, wait, I didn't actually ask Zach, and he says he's not available. So we pivoted hard. I said, Josh, what do you want to talk about? And one that we've had on the list for a while is Good Will Hunting. And it was probably way before. You might have been before college, dude. Like, yeah. I don't know when I think you started college in 21, right? No. I
graduated in 22, so.
Graduated high school in 22, which is when we started it, the pod.
Yeah.
In December, which means you would have started college. Anyways, it's been there for a while. And usually I save the single guest episodes just for a quick turnaround because, sometimes I can only get one person and whoever's available, I'll take. Anyways, here we are. Good Will Hunting.
3 people episodes usually are, it's easier to like rock back and forth ideas and stuff, and conversation flows a little naturally. So I wrote down a few questions about this one.
Okay.
So I'm more prepared, so fear not. So.
Sure. Nice. Thank you. First off, I want to talk about recommending this type of movie.
That's a good question.
Because right off the bat, I think a lot of people, if somebody wants to watch it and doesn't know, I think you need to prepare them for why it's rated R. And it's hard to talk about this as a Christian, I think, because it's a very heavy movie thematically, with language, with a lot of innuendos and conversation humor. Yep. But why are we talking about it? Why are we a Christian podcast talking about it today? Because should we just avoid? Should we even have watched this movie at all in our personal time, even without making an episode about it? Why do you think it is either important to watch it, or just why are we watching it? No, maybe not. Obviously you probably saw it once.
Yeah.
But
excuse me, it's the bubbler.
You are excused.
The reason as to why I watch it, I think it goes down from individual to individual within the Christian faith. I don't ever want to cause another person to stumble by what they watch. Now there's some very crude humor and there's a lot of swearing in this. I would argue that the swearing and a lot of the humor kind of goes along with the story that
I don't know if he's coming through for you guys. He just disappeared for about 10 seconds at this point. Let me text him. I knew where he was going, but I don't want to keep his thought up. He's also in Dipstick Nowheresville. So Joshua,
I'm back? Question mark? Can you hear
you're
me?
back. You're back. You're frozen.
I don't know what
but-
happened.
Okay. Well,
Hopefully
you
I
now.
unfreeze soon, and hopefully okay, good. Sorry about that. I guess we're getting Starlink is a little foggy today. Usually he's pretty good, but sorry, Elon. Just gonna diss your product here real quick.
I think he can take it.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
Anyways,
As I was saying, I think person to person, I don't want to be a stumbling block to anyone. So obviously, if this movie, if swearing or like anything like that is like a problem for you, please do not watch that.
mhm.
But I do think it was something that contributed to the story here. It's not something. If you were to work in construction or live in the lifestyle that they had, or like Will or his brother, or like that area, it would be it would feel incredibly fabricated for them to not be having crude humor or them not to be swearing like that. So I
Mhm.
understand that that's a stylistic choice and that's just a part of the culture that our characters are in. So it is contributing to the setting of it. Now it's
Yeah.
obviously something that I kind of shunned away from quite a few of the jokes or something like that.
Mhm.
Now I don't think in my interest I would ever recommend this movie to someone, but it is a movie that I found a lot of appreciation in the themes, and there is still something to be said about the fear of failure or the fear of success, and
Mhm.
that in that theme that's talked about in this movie, and also the idea of love and how it conquers um, failure and how it
Mhm.
conquers like us not being enough and imperfection. That is a
Yeah.
great theme that's found in this movie. So it's got a lot of really really good themes that can be applied to our Christian faith, and it's got quite a few great ideas. Its delivery is definitely in a setting or a format that's probably not a setting that us as Christians do or possibly even should resonate with. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think that this is a movie that you and your Christian faith can, with a good conscience, recommend?
Yes, because it's not um it's not what's the word? It's not there for um I'm out of it. I'm foggy. Um
Bubbler?
the
Yeah, there you go.
it's not there for being extra, I suppose is the word. Or not the
Yeah.
word. I can't think of the word. It's in, the whole point of Deadpool and Wolverine is to be the F-bomb character and to be the horrific body
Mhm.
horror and violence and all that and sexual innuendos. But you were saying that it's real in Good Will
Mhm.
Hunting. It's what you would feel. And I was going to bring
Yeah.
this up later with Robin Williams too. The contrast that you feel because of it is the key
Yeah.
to the theme of the movie.
Yeah.
And even when Ben Affleck's character was talking to Will on the construction site, he was kind of saying the same thing that Sean was saying, but in their
Mhm.
tone. And that's when Will started to click for him. He's like, wait a second. Like when somebody close to him actually started talking about this, he started to get it. And you needed him to
Mhm.
be saying things crassly and, very casually on their 15-minute break at a job site or whatever
Yeah.
to get through to him.
Mhm.
And that's just how that life is. And either switching out for Hex and Darns or pretending that that's not how people like that talk, then that's almost
Mhm.
fake. Now, it probably
Yeah.
could work. I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see a version of that to lower the bar for language, but it definitely
Yeah.
helps. And I think especially this is one of the truly angriest movies I've ever seen because of the emotion.
Yeah.
And I think that this has always been praised for how Ben Affleck and Matt Damon wrote it when they were even younger than they were portrayed, because they had to write it, they had to start it, film it, whatever.
Yeah.
But they've always been friends, and it's really fun to see them continue to work together. But when they wrote that, they were it's really bold for that level of or for that age that they wrote it for, and very real. And I lamented a while ago when Zach posted a picture of me from my church during Palm Sunday, when I was in a church play. It was like a 5-minute thing, and I was doing, I was acting poorly. I didn't do my best, but I blamed at least part of it on the script, because I don't think the writer writes it real. They write it like a narrative, like to get the point across.
Yeah.
The writing of this movie by Ben and Matt was authentic, and I felt like they wrote it for themselves, sure, but it sounds like a real conversation. It feels like a real conversation. It feels like real emotion. And when it comes to the language, I think that brings the realism to the forefront and makes you feel it. And then, I could go on and on about individual moments, but I think that's why I don't have a problem recommending it, as long as you can handle it personally. That's a personal conviction. If you're not, if you can't tune that stuff out, if you can't tune out the swearing and just roll your eyes at the humor, then don't watch this. But if you can, it's a great movie. It's just one that would be very difficult to get the full here. Maybe we need to come at it from this angle. It's a very difficult movie if you were to watch it, or it would be a difficult movie to transfer the feelings of the movie if you were to watch it on Angel VidAngel. That one.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. Where they cut out everything for you.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be the same, and that's fine, because I don't know. Sorry for the people who can't deal with a few swear words in order to enjoy a good story. You can maybe not everything's about seeing a good story. If you go your whole life without seeing Good Will Hunting, so be it. Who cares? I'm not going to say you're missing out.
Yeah, it's a good movie. You aren't missing out, but if your convictions are worth way more than a good story, I think is what we're trying to say. And the swearing is obviously something that's kind of embedded in the setting, but one thing I also want to talk about is the crude humor, because that is also used in the story. I think specifically of the scene where they're in the restaurant and Skylar's her name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was 90% certain it was Skylar. Skylar makes a very crude joke that I'm not going to repeat on the podcast, but it was something that was kind of a symbol that she is able to be with Will at his worst form, which he identifies his worst form with the way that he jokes with Ben Affleck's character and with that group, and then her kind of joining along with that was kind of the symbol that he's put up so many walls, and he's simply just not letting her into his inner life because he's so scared of the fear of failure, which I guess is kind of a good segue in a way to talk about that whole theme. What any initial thoughts on kind of the fear of failure that's depicted from someone who is almost doomed to succeed, like Will?
Yeah, it sounded like you're saying from a guy who is
doomed to
afraid
succeed.
of failure, due to succeed.
Yeah.
No, I hear it.
Yeah.
I think it's what did I say in the description of this this episode? Oh, I didn't change it. Oh no, I'm going live on the guys. I went live on the wrong scheduled stream. Oh no. That's fine.
It's fine and dandy.
Oh
Wait, where
no.
are you?
Oh no. Well, oh my gosh. All right, we're changing this. Save. Nobody saw anything. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what happened was, I had, like I said, I had to change. Had to reschedule a different one because Zach was not available, and I accidentally went live on that one that I accidentally scheduled for. Anyways, I said something like the saddest boy movie one could ask for, and I think it hits the feels for guys, because it's a guy movie. You know, Skylar's like the only girl in it. And yeah, Ellie was watching with we watched this last night because we were like, oh, we had to pivot, so then I guess we have to watch a good movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Ellie sympathized with Skylar, of course, but the movie wasn't about her. She was the love interest, and that's about it. You know, it was sad to see her crying and feeling like, even in my almost 2 years of marriage, I can see the look in Skylar's eyes that you know, just her boyfriend made her feel, and I can see that now with maturity. But anyways, you were asking about the fear of failure. And I think that's, I mean, it's in everybody. I'm not going to say it's just a guy thing, but I feel that a majority of guys want to succeed at a lot of things. And especially when you get into supporting a house, you start feeling the responsibility, and you're about to be married. And so you just get that more. And then with him avoiding failure, I think at one point, Sean says to Jerry, he says he pushes people away before they can let him go, or something like that. You know, he keeps gaming the system because he, you know, like when he's doing all of the time with the counselors or the psychologists and therapists. Yeah. He's gaming the system because he doesn't want to. Well, at that point, he's trying not to see deeper. He just wants to be a brick wall and play games because he thinks it's all fun and games. But he is just like that, and because he doesn't, he avoids the thing that makes him nervous, and that's failure, that's rejection, and we haven't even started talking about the his skill, I suppose. That responsibility that he doesn't want, he just has, and he's like, you know, it's almost like with great power comes great responsibility, but he doesn't feel that. Maybe that's the reason Spider-Man resonates with everyone is because the great power comes great responsibility applies to almost everything, and that's the same theme of this movie. And so we resonate whether we're male or not, just because Will is acting on those impulses to avoid failure, to avoid rejection. Like I've said, we wouldn't do that. Like, we have enough social credibility, social standing, maturity, even a society 30 years after that took place that hides it better almost. And in the 90s, it was like the movie, you know, you could just kind of be brash to everyone and they wouldn't care. So we see what we want to do in Will, even though it's socially unacceptable. And because Will doesn't really have any social cue, he's a rebel in that way. But now, you know, does that make sense? Like, we're trying to sympathize. We get it. We see him acting out on something we can't.
Yeah, he's forever trying to put off responsibility by almost denying his power. He's just trying to play everything safe with no risk. Like he's truly just kind of trying to, I don't know, play the game and constantly win. And he's only playing the simple games, I guess, you know? It's like playing, if you guys have ever played Geometry Dash, it's like never going to the second level. You're just constantly playing the first one because you know that you can win the first one. Probably a bad game to represent because I don't know how many people have played Geometry Dash here, but the point stands where failure is kind of just a part of life. Messing up is monumental in any person's walk, and that's kind of just learning how to navigate that is probably the best lesson that anyone can learn. And that's just something that he's been so hurt by failure, so hurt by that, he just has a fear of ever experiencing that again. So he'll just deny any power, any responsibility, any skill that he currently has. He's just going to go for the simple life. And that's kind of where he starts with, just to protect himself with his, which is such I guess a manly tendency, or stereotypical emotionally unavailable dad or emotionally unavailable man who just doesn't want to open up about his feelings, anything like that, simply because he just doesn't want to get hurt or this or that, or it just makes stuff too complicated and then he has to win that game. And I think, especially from the male perspective, not saying women don't experience this too, but kind of just the idea that if we don't start any games, we can't lose them.
Oh, yeah.
So if he doesn't complete the game with Skylar, he can't lose that. If he stops it, he can't lose. If he stops going to therapy, or if he stops doing all of this stuff, he can't lose. He's won in his mind because he hasn't lost. That's kind of, we attribute to an unfinished project as one that we've in somewhat won, even though it's never been completed.
Wasn't there a line about that?
There was, but I'm having a hard time remembering it.
I mean, I have the IMDb quotes up, but they're so long because everything is conversational.
It's a heavy conversation movie.
Yeah. And Ellie said, Seth, I want to watch more of these dramas because did you know that movies don't need action scenes? Action's kind of boring sometimes. Honestly.
Take Whiplash, for example.
I've gotten a number of Legos for my birthday, and we've still been watching Arrow, and I've just been engrossed in the Legos because I can hear what's going on. And sometimes I look up during the talking scenes, but I'm like, I know. I love that the action in Arrow is really good compared to, Marvel TV shows now.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It's the same every time. And, this is a movie that is reliant on the conversations and thrives in it. And it needs to be well written. I'm curious to watch more of those, specifically Nefarious. I know we want to do an episode on that, but that was another one that people were like, how is it just two guys talking in a room for 90% of it? So
yeah, such a good movie, by the way. Would highly recommend it from a Christian perspective.
I think we should talk about that soon.
Yeah.
Looking at some of these quotes,
Robin Williams killed it, by the way.
Okay,
I mean,
we won't look at the quotes then. No, I was going to talk about Robin Williams. I was going to say that he, this was similar to what we talked about in Insomnia, because his jovial personality that everyone knows him for is antithetical to the seriousness of the movie. It's exact same with Insomnia, and that helps because I've expressed interest. I haven't seen him yet, but Uncut Gems and not Criminal Minds. There's a Jim Carrey one.
Good Will Hunting, or not Good Will Hunting. That's the one we're talking about. Dead Poets Society is another one where his personality of being bubbly and stuff kind of plays into the movie as well.
Sure. I was talking about comedians being serious in their roles. So Jim Carrey had one that I can't remember the name of. Adam Sandler was in Uncut Gems. And I think I know those movies are super heavy especially the Jim Carrey one. And it's just this flipping of the character that they play almost every day, you know, the goofy ones. And I think that's genius. I don't know how that works or the psychology behind it, but I know it does.
Yeah.
And obviously he was funny in this one, but even more so, more than his acting and the idea of Robin Williams being a comedic character, a comedic person, he has this smile that's so warming.
Oh my word, yeah.
And I noticed how much he used it in this movie. Even when Sean was mad at Will, he just sat there and he did his little Robin smile, which is I try to mimic it, but it's so much bigger. Like he has a wide smile, and it's almost like Carl Fredricksen. You know, it's just wide. He has like a wide jaw, very circular face. But even when he was annoyed, he had that smile, almost impatience, and he did lose his cool a few times, but he had the patience. So,
which his character has some gnarly quotes in there, very inspirational. I guarantee you that there is a plethora of Instagram reels and TikTok videos that are just his quotes from that movie edited together with sappy Bambi scenes or some sort of like sad Disney movie on in the background. I guarantee you that they're out there. I haven't seen them, but I can just picture them right now because what he speaks of, especially about love and kind of the acceptance of being imperfect, is awesome. One of my favorite lines in there, which I know a lot of people have used, is talking about how she's imperfect, or no, you're imperfect, and let me spare you the surprise or the trouble. She's imperfect too, but the question is, are you perfect for each other? That was a bar. And especially kind of growing in my relationship with Michael, and I'm sure you have experienced with Ellie, where you really, there's so much more pure and true love in kind of navigating differences, navigating impurities together in a way that's just unconditional.
Yeah.
But it's not any sort of unconditional that we can provide on our own. That is something that is gifted from the Lord. Like in our pursuit of each other, if a relationship is full of love and God is love, each love story is more a story about his involvement in each person's relationship more than it is actually about each person in the relationship, and kind of navigating that from I guess pulling it to the Christian side, just him saying both of you are imperfect, but are you perfect for each other? I don't believe in soulmates, but I think you can be made soulmates through like true devotion, true pursuit, and just praying to the Lord, like, Lord, please be in this relationship, because there's no other way for it to work.
For sure.
I just loved some of the relationship advice given in this movie.
Yeah. And he talks about one of the opening conversations, one of the first real ones that they had out in the park. Gosh, this whole there was a meme that Ellie shared with me that was like, my husband, when there's a one take in a movie, and then it's him in quotes, "Did you know that was filmed in one take? Did you know?" And I'm like, I did that. But that plays to the insanity of Robin Williams. You know, it's hard to memorize a long line and to act through every single word. And that park scene where he's like, you know, I have it in front of me. So if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book written. Michelangelo, you know a lot about him, life's work, political aspiration, blah, blah, blah. That whole thing was just saying, you don't know anything, even though you know so much. And that's almost the difference that the Bible tells us about the one who thinks he's wise is a fool, who, you know, we talk about knowledge versus wisdom. You can have a lot of knowledge, but are you wise? And we'll almost refuse to be wise, you know?
Yeah. I didn't draw that connection. That's awesome. that whole spiel that Robin Williams gives is just poetic. This story is poetry, like from beginning to end. The dialogue, I would say, rivals that of, I don't even know. It's the best thing since sliced bread, I guess. I don't know anything else before sliced bread.
Yeah. Gotta talk a little bit more about love because I saw him say, if the professor calls about a job, just tell him I'm sorry, I have to go see about a girl. And I was like, Ellie, in Ellie's romantic perspective of the story, where she understands Skylar a little bit more, she's like, he better be going to California, and he was, which is crazy because he just said that he had accepted the job, and that just shows laying himself down for the woman he loves. And this was right after, obviously, the climactic scene. And just Sean continuously saying, "It's not your fault," and breaking that, and being vulnerable. That guy, that cry that Will does is,
oh my gosh,
it's like the guy cry. Guys don't cry. That's what men do. Men don't cry.
Yeah, we don't.
Except when they do. Except when they do.
When they...
And sometimes it's that type of cry that is just like, I've been holding it in for so long, and I think
it's like you don't know how you've been holding it in so much.
Exactly. It's realizing how much it eats at you. So
yeah. Now I did have a question, which I guess is going to be seen in a lot of romantic movies. Your genuine thoughts on a guy giving up his career or any sort of crazy aspirations for a girl like that.
What do you mean a girl like that?
So this is a different perspective inside and outside of marriage, and also depending on the relationship. Obviously, at this point, and probably for the past 2 years, as of tomorrow, actually, Michael's and my 2-year dating anniversary is tomorrow.
Dude,
big deal.
That's awesome.
But for the past 2 years, if I would die for Michael. I would die for Riley. I say that a lot. I would die for Riley. I don't know. But,
I had a dog named Riley.
Yeah. The idea of giving up all of the success that you could have for a girl like that. Very typical romantic relationship love story movie, right? Yeah. Now, Bible calls us to give yourself up for your wife, to love your wife just as Christ loved the church, giving himself up for the church on the death on the cross. Super paraphrasing. Don't think I was reading scripture from that. I don't have my Bible in front of me, but it's in Ephesians if you want to read it. Ephesians 5, I believe. What are your thoughts on, in a dating relationship like that, dropping any possible career you had for a girl and moving to California like that? I just want to know your genuine thoughts in the real world, not in the movie.
Yeah.
Real world.
I think you shouldn't have gotten in that situation. There's definitely a job available in California in that situation.
Oh, super definitely.
And it did seem like she was immovable in her plans, which is fine. But he was being equally movable. That's where their fight came in. But now, when you're in that situation, it probably, now that she's already at college, it makes sense to go to her and find a job over there, because you can't move the college. At least you can't do it online in the 90s. So he had a lot more flexibility. He probably didn't have the connections, but he was already driven. If he's going to drive across the country, I'm sure you can find a job in California. So
yeah, and he's also literally a genius, so he'll be able to find a job.
Yeah.
Now, what about to the person who is not incredibly gifted and cannot get any job that includes numbers on a dime?
Life advice, relationship advice from Seth.
Disclaimer, this is from Seth.
It's hard because right now it's so easy to just, have long distance, and not easy, it's not easy.
Well,
but it just feels like
super worth it.
Yeah.
It's super worth it.
But I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It is a hard answer. It feels like you should maybe get to a place where you can move wherever you want with career,
Mhm.
and then do that.
Mhm.
For them, it was, in the 90s, you could call still, but they were also living together, or they would have lived together probably, but because that was their lifestyle. So maybe that wasn't something I was thinking about, but I don't know.
Biblically, like in their situation, I probably wouldn't recommend it because I know that they're just going to be going to go live in sin, living together like that. Now, if there was proper boundaries in place, I wouldn't say in the movie's situation, I wouldn't say it's wrong as long as they have proper boundaries.
Mhm.
But to like a normal person who doesn't have a job, like disclaimer, Josh advice, I've seen long distance work.
Mhm.
My sister
sure.
is proof. I think I'm proof. It's super duper worth it. Michael
Mhm.
is worth every single mile. And I think there's a lot of beauty in making the long distance work while you are still an individual and you're not just
Mhm.
immediately joining. That's
Yeah.
my take.
Yeah.
But I do think it's incredibly cool to see people be like at a point where sacrifice is necessary, being ready to just be like, no, you are more important than my career is just a very noble sacrifice.
Mhm. Which that is, if you're willing to die, Riley.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just,
And once you've gotten ready to say, hey, you're going to be my wife,
yeah,
you know,
kind of makes
there
sense.
is a difference.
Yeah, but
Anyways,
I know
off of relationship advice.
Well, I know it feels like we just started, but I do need to wrap up. It's been
Oh, right.
weird
It's already...
day. No,
You're good.
it is a short episode. I know we could talk for hours about this, and maybe we will. We'll keep talking on Discord probably. I saw somebody just jumped in. I think that is bad timing. I'm sorry. But we will continue talking about it on Discord, what you liked about the movie, what you didn't like. There's a lot of aspects to it. I think even just as the real world looking at it, and two young men making it, getting Robin Williams and whoever Skarsgård that was, to act in it is crazy. So, but gotta go. Thank you, Josh, for doing this short notice.
Of course.
We still have
I love the
plenty.
movie.
I know. We still have plenty of stickers available. Grab your free sticker. Did you actually put it on something, or do you still have?
I don't have it on something because I need to get a new water bottle.
All right. Well.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Share this with a friend. Until next week. Know that you're loved. God bless.
Peace out, brethren.